Hello, students. How are you? This is economics lesson video for grade 11, presented by me, Mr. Fitzumir Mias. It is for term 1, week 2, and lesson 3. In today's lesson, we are going to deal with the economic system, specifically mixed economy and decision-making units of an economy. Students, let us briefly revise what we have discussed in the previous lesson. I hope you will be able to recall some of the basic concepts from the previous lesson. The following review points will help us to grasp some of the basic concepts. In the previous lesson, we have dealt with the economic system, command economy or socialism. It is an economy which all economic institutions that are engaged in the production, distribution are owned and controlled by the government. This way the system first emerged in Russia around 1917. After that, particularly after the end of the Second World War, a number of nations were adopted this economic system. In the recent past, socialism loses its popularity, and most of the socialist countries now are trying a free market economic system. Then we have tried to deal with the main features, advantages, and disadvantages of the command economic system or socialism. Then we have dealt with 5 or 6 major points as a main feature of the command economic system: collective ownership, clear social and economic objectives, central economic planning, government strong role, maximum social welfare, relative equality of income are the major points that we try to deal in the previous lesson. In relation to clear and social economic objectives, a command economy has clear objectives and try to attain those objectives with conscious effort, which is different from that of the capitalism economic system. Central economic planning, planning for resource allocation, for production, distribution by the controlling authority is the other major feature. Maximum social welfare, usually the command economy is aiming at maximizing the social welfare and do not allow the exploitation of labor and other resources. Relative equality, it's obvious since it is planned and controlled by the government. There is no private sector that exploit and accumulate wealth. It try to create a relative equality among the society. These were parts of the main feature of the command economic system. As an advantage of this system, we try to see also best utilization of resource since there is planning, absence of wasteful competition, there is no private sector that lead unhealthy competition. Since it is totally controlled by the government, there is absence of wasteful competition, a smooth working of the economy, balanced economic growth, elimination of private monopolies and inequalities are taken as advantages of the command economic system. In the case of disadvantage, the command economic system has a number of disadvantages. Disadvantage like absence of automatic price mechanism. If you remember that, automatic price mechanism is the mechanism that the price of commodities are determined by market force in the market, demand and supply. But we don't have such thing in this economic system since it is totally controlled by the government. We said that. And absence of incentive for hard work and efficiency, lack of economic freedom to make various economic decisions, and there is also red tapeism, high degree of bureaucracy. In order to make economic decisions, we need to pass different government officials or different government offices. That is the other disadvantage in the command economic system. It's all about what we try to see in the previous session. Mixed economy. Student, I hope you understand from the name itself what type of economic system it is. Mixed economy is the mix of the previous two economic systems that we have discussed. A mixed economy is an economy containing the characteristics of both capitalism and socialism, a combination of private and public ownership of the means of production, with some measures of control by the government. So, this is the system that mixes the major features of the capitalism and socialism economic systems. The positive features are taken and developed as a single economic system. Mixed economy is the recently originated system, and nowadays many developing countries are adopting this mixed economic system. Main features of mixed economy. Student, we have seen various main features in relation to capitalism economic system and socialism or command economic system. I hope you will be able to recall some of those main features in relation to these two type of economic systems. These are the main features which are adapted from either from socialism or capitalism economic system. Try to give your own explanation for the following listed points of main features of mixed economy. Then compare your explanation with the textbook definition. Do that carefully. Advantage of mixed economy. Private property, profit motive, and price mechanism are advantages that we get in a mixed economy. All the advantages of capitalist economic system, such as the right to private property, profit motive, and control of economic activities through price mechanism, are available in the mixed economy. At the same time, the government control ensure that they do not lead to exploitation. Since there is a coexistence of public and private sector, they work together. The benefits of the capitalism economic system in command economy are available here in the mixed economy. Adequate freedom. Mixed economy allows adequate freedom to different economic units, such as consumers, employees, producers, and investors. Rapid and planned economic development. The other benefit that we get here in the mixed economy. Planned economic growth take place. Resources are properly and efficiently utilized. And fast economic development take place because of the private and the public sector complement each other. This is the other benefit in a mixed economy. Social welfare and fewer economic inequalities. This is because the government's restricted control over economic activities help in achieving social welfare and economic equality. These are the benefits that we get from the mixed economic system. Try to read your textbook for further development of the information. Disadvantage of mixed economy. Earlier, we said that this is an economic system that builds on the positive side of the previous two economic systems, command and capitalism. Even though the economy built or established on the positive side of the two economic systems, it is not perfect. There are also drawbacks, problems that is taken as a disadvantage of this economic system. Let us see this disadvantage or problems of mixed economy: ineffectiveness and inefficiency. Why we have ineffectiveness and inefficiency in a mixed economy? For example, in the public sector, or workers in the public sector might be inefficient because of lack of incentive and responsibility. If they lack these two rings, they will become inefficient. This is one of the problems that we face in the mixed economy. And if you look at the private sector, they may be also ineffective because of the government rules and regulation and controls that will make them to become ineffective. Ineffectiveness and inefficiency are the problems that we face in the mixed economy. The other disadvantage is instability. Over time, a mixed economy might change to one of the other type of economy. It would become a command or um, capitalism economic system over time. One over the other may take upper hand and make various economic decisions. This is the other problem that we may face in mixed economy, instability. Economic fluctuation is the other disadvantage. If the private sector is not properly controlled by the government, economic fluctuation and unemployment can occur. You can take the real cases in your country or other countries in the world that adopt mixed economic system. If there is no proper control and check of economic system by the government, economic fluctuation is common. Corruption and the black market. Usually, if government policies, rules, regulations, directives are not effectively implemented, it paved the way for corruption and the black market. This is what we have as a disadvantage in a mixed economy. Okay, student, it's all about economic systems that we try to see in the previous lessons and in today's lesson. To sum up, the economic system, the capitalist market and the socialist command economic systems are the two extreme economic systems. In concept, a mixed economy is ideal because it incorporates the advantages of both capitalism and socialism. Its success also depends totally on government efficiency and effectiveness. The system has been successfully adopted by some of the countries, particularly in the Scandinavian countries, in Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland. They become more effective by implementing mixed economic system. This is all about the economic system and the major futures. Decision making units and circular flow of economic activities. The decision making units of an economy or economic agents are household sector, business sector or firm, government sector, and the rest of the world. Households are the main owners of factors of production. What are factors of production? Land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. These are owned by households. So, in the economic decision making unit, households represent the owner of factors of production. They sell the service of these factors to the producers and in turn receive their income in the form of rent, wage, interest, profit. If you remember the previous lesson, they spend large part of their income for the purchase of goods and services from the producers. Business sectors or firms in economy, we use the term business sector, producer, firm interchangeably. Firms hire services or factors of production from households to produce commodities, goods, and services. Government sector, it has a decision making unit or economic agent. When you say government, it takes the sense of general government so as to separate the government enterprises. When you say general government, we are going to separate government enterprises and stick only with the government that provides service to the society. General government gets its income largely from tax imposed on householders and business sectors in the form of direct tax and indirect tax. General government also buy or purchase goods and services from producers, from firms, and factor service from households. Why the general government purchase those things? Simply to provide social services to the society. So the government sector here is represented as a general government. Why we say general government? In order to separate government enterprises. There are different government enterprises, those who engaged in the production of goods and services and sell those goods and services to other sectors. The other one is the rest of the world. Different sectors or different economic sectors have transaction. They sell and buy different things among each other. But this transaction is not limited within the domestic territory. There is a transaction with the rest of the world. So a country exports goods and services to other countries and similarly import goods and services from other countries. Because of this, the rest of the world is one of the other major decision making unit in an economy, and it is also part of an economic agent. Circular flow of income and expenditure. A circular flow is the pictorial representation of the continuous flow of payments and receipt for goods and service and factor service between different sectors of the economy. There is payment and receipt. That payment and receipt is represented by a circular flow pictorial representation. Flow types. Economic transaction like sale and purchase of goods and factor service generate two kind of flows. There is real flow and money flow. Student, pause the video for a while and ask yourself what are the things that are represented as real flow and what are the things that are taken as part of money flow. Just try to give your own explanation for a while. Have you done that, students? Good. Let us see it together. Real flows consists of the flow of factor service from owners of factor service to the producers. We have seen earlier factors are owned by households. So this factor flow from households to the producers, firms. Goods and services from producers to the buyers. Factor service and goods are represented on the real flow. Money flows consists of the flow of money income from factor service such as rent, wage, interest, profit, and the money expenditure incurred for the purchase of goods and services. These are represented on the money flow part. Students, let us see these two flows with a circular flow diagram. Look at these two diagrams. In the left, we have the real flow, and in the right, we have the money flow. In the left, in the real flow, you can see that from firms, goods and services are flowing towards to the households. Goods and service from firm flow towards to the household in the real flow. And from household, factor service, land, labor, capital, entrepreneur flow towards to the firms. Firms hire factor services in order to produce goods and service. And those goods and service that are produced by firms are flow to households. This is what we refer as real flow, the flow of factor service in goods. In the return, there are payments and receipt. That is represented by money flow. Look at the diagram on the right. From firm with the sale of goods and service, they will receive an income, money payment for goods and service. That is flow from household to the firm. It is a payment for the purchase of goods and services. And there is a payment made by firm to the households for the hiring of factor service. This is represented by money flow. That's all for today, students. To briefly highlight what we try to see in today's session, we dealt with the mixed economy. we try to define what mixed economy mean, and we dealt with the main futures like coexistence of public and private sector, economic welfare, economic planning, and the likes. And we have also highlighted the advantage and disadvantage of the mixed economic system. Then we have dealt with the decision-making unit in an economy. The decision-making units in an economy are household sector, the business sector or firm, government, and the rest of the world. These are also known as economic agents. And finally, we try to see the circular flow of goods and service and money, payment and receipt. That is represented by a circular flow diagram, and we have discussed all these things in today's lesson. We wind up today's lesson with the following exercise. Do this exercise carefully on your exercise book. And that's all for today. Until we meet in the next lesson video. Goodbye.